Good evening, good evening. What's up, my beautiful butterflies and my fly guys? Listen, have you ever played dress up? This was an age-old pastime that many of us experienced in our childhood. I, for one, recall my sister and I having a great time, putting on our wigs on our heads and jackets and acting like we were adults. Now, just to be clear, back then, men too wore wigs if they could not grow an afro. But listen, what we discovered was that dressing up gave us an opportunity to pretend that we were something that we were not at the time. And I've often opined on this show that it is my belief that you dress for where you're going and not where you are. Listen, if you're single and you're going to be a wife, then dress like a wife. I always say. You know, a former colleague of mine will always make this statement. If you don't want the title, then don't wear the label. And I would always push back and say, well, if you want the title, then you should wear the label. If you want to be a wife of beautiful butterflies, then perhaps you should dress like a wife. It is also, my belief that fashion is a change agent that is important to all and that it still matters no matter who you are. So listen, stay tuned, and I'm going to prove my point and then offer tips to help you up your fashion game. So go ahead, grab that favorite beverage, and we will be right back after this. Are you ready, AB? All right, hit it. Yeah, in the building.
He spoke fashion. I'm telling he spoke fashion. I'm so bad. He spoke fashion. I'm telling he spoke.
Thank you for joining us again, and this is HeSpoke Fashion. And I am the host, Daylon Thomas. This is where we discuss women's fashion from a man's perspective. And of course, we endeavor to go everywhere fashion is. And on this week, I want to discuss this topic. Does fashion still matter to modern women? So go ahead and tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that we are live and they want to join in this discussion. But first of all, let me start by summarizing an article I saw over this week concerning a 16-year-old teenage girl. In this article, the victim, who was the 16-year-old, was shot by a 26-year-old by the name of Michael McKinley. And on this week, he copped a plea to only serve a 10-year sentence. McKinley was said to have shot into the vehicle of the 16-year-old and her friends during a Trump rally in 2020. Here is Mr. McKinley. So while I'm not clear why the prosecutors in this case allowed this plea, my focus is on the statement made by the 16-year-old victim. It reads, "I believed I was going to die the day I was shot. I didn't know if I would be able to walk again," she wrote, according to the Register. "I'm a 16-year-old young lady and would love to love myself. But it's hard when I look at my scars and remember the events of December 6, 2020. Now, that part, it struck me. The part here with the being 16 years of age is young, beautiful black butterfly is saying that she would love to love herself. How can you hear that and not want to come to the rescue of this young girl? Do you believe that fashion could help to repair this young lady's esteem? Well, I do. And so I want to offer this to anyone who may know the family of this young lady in Des Moines, Iowa. I want to offer a $500 gift card to build her a wardrobe for this upcoming school year. You see, it is my conviction that fashion will help turn things around. And that, my friend, is why I don't mind putting my money where my mouth is. Now, I know that there may be those who want to support me in this initiative. So if you want to join me, please feel free to send any donations to the following Cash App. That's Cash App, $ HeSpoke Fashion Live. All right? Join me or not, anyone has any contact information, knows how to get in touch with the family, please feel free to share that information. You can go to our website at HeSpokeFashionLive.com. You can hit that Contact Us tab and send us an email. Let us know who the family of this young lady is, because I want to sow into her life, because I believe fashion will help build her self-esteem and help her to love herself even the more. So listen, to my YouTube audience, thank you for joining me tonight. And I want you to do me a favor. And if by chance there's someone that you think can contribute to this discussion, please share this with them. And if you indeed like the discussion, please, my friend, hit that like button and then subscribe to this channel. Then you want to hit that alarm bell so that you can be notified every time it is that we go live. And for my butterflies and fly guys on Facebook, please hit like and share. Share with those that may have a relative or a friend or colleague in Iowa, so we can get the word out, so we can be a blessing to this young lady. Please hit like and share. Share this with those whom you think need to be a part of this conversation. Now, let's get to our topic tonight. We want to talk about, does fashion still matter to modern women? So in order to better discuss this topic, we must start by defining what a modern woman is. By definition, a modern woman, get your pen and paper, is defined as a woman who can truly have it all. A successful career, a loving marriage, beautiful children, a gorgeous home, and a well-traveled suitcase full of experiences around the world. So now the question is, do you consider yourself a modern woman? If so, my goal is simple. It is to help you to prove that you are. And then if not, my goal is to coach you on your journey to becoming a modern woman. How we do this is to provide you, with information and tips that will assist you and to change the way you think and feel about fashion. So let's get started on this journey tonight. I think we have a great show and a great discussion. So point number one in this journey, the way you dress influences how other people see you. Did you know that? Did you know that the way you dress influences how others view you? Listen, have you ever misjudged someone strictly by what they wore? We all have been guilty at one time or another of doing so. And I believe, and it's just my belief, that practice will continue. All right? Practice will continue. It still occurs now, whether we like it or not. Your coworkers, your fellow church members, your relatives, all are gauging how well you are simply by the way you dress. As a matter of fact, it is my belief that when you don't feel good, you should dress up. It throws them off. You know what? We were taught that in our community. Come on, put some likes, something in the comments. If you were raised just that way, that you didn't show everyone when you were going through a struggle, at least by the way you carried yourself. All right? Point number 2. Don't wait to project good fashion for only specific occasions when you can make those choices part of your everyday wardrobe. This is a very good tip for the modern woman. And if you are a modern woman, you don't just have those fashionable items in the back of the closet waiting for the big occasion. You have a wedding to go through, you have a banquet. So you're saving those outfits for that, or a special occasion that you have. No, my friend. If you are a modern woman, listen to me, hear me close. You don't save those outfits. You know what you do? You wear them in your everyday wardrobe, right? I know that's kind of crazy, right? Because then, guess what? If you're wearing those outfits, those fashion choices on a daily basis, it's going to up the way people see you. You're going to always look like you're going somewhere. Remember, it is not where you're going. It is the process of getting dressed that produces the energy you need. Don't you feel that way when you're getting ready to go out with your girlfriends, fellas? When you're getting ready to go out with the boys, you're like, yo, I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to do this, that, and other. And you start feeling that energy. You're all hype. It can transform your mind because of the energy boost you get just by getting dressed up. Come on, give me some hand claps. I know that's you. That's why you're watching. I know that's you because you are a modern woman, or you're on your journey to become a modern woman. Let's look at this quote. As you know, I always love a good quote, and this is by Carmen Del Orifis. It says, "Fashion matters to the degree that it is for the sighted person the first language we speak to each other. We are judged," in quotes, is a very harsh word, but we're taken in and we're evaluating. Who is this person? What do I have in common? Do I respect them? All of that is that unspoken visual impact. Now, of course, you remember Carmen. She was an American supermodel, and she is one who's noted as being the one who was the oldest supermodel to walk the catwalk. I think her last time was in 2012. But point number 3, fashion can help you to become your best self. Do you believe that? Do you believe that fashion can help you become your best self? A friend of mine, shout out to Maurice, said to me one day, "You don't have to dress like you feel like." Part of your prescription is to get dressed and to get going. Again, we're not saying that it is all you need to become your best self, but that it is a prescription towards becoming. And I tonight am your fashion doctor, and I am prescribing fashion. I just got a comment to show the Cash App. So let's show that Cash App right again. Yes, we want to show that. Listen, if you want to be part of this, whether or not you are not, we're going to send that $500 gift card, and whatever else that we bring in, we will definitely make certain that we sow to this young lady. And so again, I'm your fashion doctor, and I'm prescribing fashion to you tonight. Point number 4, take the time to craft your outfits. As a modern woman, I know that you already do. And if you're on this journey, I want you to make note of this. Do you take the time to craft or to put together your outfits, or do you wait right until the moment you have to walk out the door to determine what you're going to wear? Listen, if you are a modern woman, then I know you always craft your outfits. You take that extra time to do so. Let's look at this quote from Pharrell Williams. It says, fashion has to reflect who you are, what you feel at the moment, and where you're going. Where you're going. Yes, you're going to work, but you're going somewhere else. It has to reflect who you are, where you're going. Now, I've talked to you guys before about this theory of enclosed cognition. Let's look at this definition. We introduced the term enclosed cognition to describe the systematic influence that clothes have on the wearer's psychological processes. Thus, the current research suggests a basic principle of enclosed cognition. It depends on both the symbolic meaning and the physical experience of wearing the clothes. All right? Let's go to this lab coat study. And I'll try to go over this again. So there was a study done, and what they did was they took a lab coat and they broke a group of people up into 3 or 4, I think 3 here, 3 separate groups. To the first group, they told them that the lab coat was in fact a doctor's coat. The second group, they told them that it was a doctor's coat, but that they could not in fact put it on. The final group, they told them, instead of it being a doctor's lab coat, that it was a painter's lab coat. And then they had them to put it on. And then they gave them some questions and had a bit of dialogue with them. And do you not know, those who believed it to be a doctor's coat and were told it was a doctor's coat and put it on, they fared far better in answering those questions and really thinking those answers through. The second group that was just able to see the doctor's coat behave as they normally would. Why? Because they could only see the coat. They couldn't wear it. And lastly, the third group that believed it to be a painter's coat. You would not believe this, but their answers were more creative because they thought that they were painters. Creativity. Simply by what they were able to put on, it changed their way of thinking and their way of behavior. So let me ask you a question. What do you possess that makes you feel special? I want you to write that in the comments. What clothing item, what piece of item do you have makes you feel special? Makes you feel like your best self? For me, there was a particular suit that I used to wear in college. And every time they would see me, they said, "Oh, we know where he's going. That's that special suit he has on." Come on, ladies. I know you have them. You have that dress That foxy dress, as my Uncle Free would say. You look foxy on that. You have that dress that you know makes you look a certain type of way. I want to suggest to you that you need every tool you can to achieve your goal. And why is fashion not one of them? You see, there's a really common idea that dressing well is dressing for special occasions. But life is an occasion, and every day can be more meaningful if you simply dress like it. So, wow, drop the bomb. Let's drop the mic, right? Pooh! In your face! So if you don't think that fashion matters, let's take a look at some modern women that I believe fashion still matters. You know who I'm going to talk about. That's right. My fave, Rihanna. You know what? Miss Billionaire didn't make it in music, but well, wow. You talking about new beginnings, fashion and beauty, baby. So although Rihanna is seen as one of the most beautiful women in the world, she does not rest on her pretty privilege like so many women do. What do you mean by that? Simply put, just because you are a natural, beautiful butterfly does not mean that you don't have to accommodate your natural beauty with fashion. There's never a time, at least I haven't seen it, where Rihanna has not shown that to her, fashion matters. Wow. Now, how is it that you, and I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about your girlfriend, you didn't tag her so we can talk about her, that she, being an adjustable six, that fashion could not matter to her. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a secret about most men. Most men, including myself, know that we aren't all that, and we're definitely not all that in a bag of chips. Therefore, we are in the gym, we're trying to get our money up, we're trying to do our careers, advancing our careers, getting all the fashion advice that we can just to make ourselves look good enough for an adjustable six. But here, some of you stand, and I can't believe it. You want a high value man, but you're not willing to put in the work. What is the work? The work is fashion matters. Riri in the building. Let's move on. So many of you have seen my next person, Angela Ree, on most news platforms. But you have also seen and heard about her in terms of her dating life. A few years ago, she was linked to none other than the rapper Common. That's right. They were a lovely couple. You know, let me just say this. I often wondered, how does one who is not in the hip-hop community connect with someone who is in that sphere? Oftentimes, you see people who are in the same industry connect with one another, whether it be that they are in hip-hop as the rapper or as a video vixen, or even a label person or a sports icon like Serena Williams. Seldom do you see this occur, whereas the person is not in the same profession or in entertainment per se. Nevertheless, Angela was on television a lot, and she did not solely depend on her intellect, her dynamic personality, and ability to communicate, nor did she lean on pretty privilege like so many of us. Each time she is on television, she takes time for fashion, and you know what? it shows. I, for one, simply can't imagine knowing that you are on television and not taking the time for fashion. You know, I could see if you're caught off guard and someone places a microphone in your face and a camera, but not to know that, for instance, you are a news anchor or field reporter and not be fashionable. Now, I've seen those cases. You've seen them too, right? You know, something goes down in the hood and they get the woman who's wearing the bonnet and they stick the microphone in her face and the cameraman is rolling and they ask her some questions. She was caught off guard. I don't know, this day and age, the bonnets, that might have been her everyday wear, but you get my drift. If you know you're going to be on TV, how would you not prepare yourself? Fashion gets you noticed. And you never know who's on the other end watching you. In Angela's case, it was Common. But on another case, it was this guy, Kareem Reed, her current alleged beau. Okay, I see you, Kareem. I, for one, think that at least for Angela, fashion still matters. Yes. Oh, that's a cute couple. One last modern woman who I have always believed that fashion mattered is none other than the ageless wonder Mary J. Blige. Woo! Fire! Mary J. Blige is the quintessential woman of fashion. Put her in the chat. Let her know we're talking about her. Not only did she kill the game as a young woman, but as you can see here, she has evolved into quote unquote fashion goals. That's right. My humble opinion, her fashion evolution is one that we can all hope to have as we not grow older, but grow better. Check Mary out. That's Mary, baby. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Mary. She's keeping it together. She's not resting on fame, fortune, or pretty privilege. She still shows that fashion matters. See, even with a baseball cap on and a jacket, very fashionable. I'm not telling you to dress up all the time, but whatever you wear, keep that sense of style and fashion. Listen, we've come to the end of our conversation on tonight. And I would like to, first of all, thank you for joining me. And I want to say to you that fashion is at its most powerful if it represents who we are inside. Fashion creates a desire for change. And I want to influence you to get back into fashion. You know what? Everywhere we look, women who are truly modern women are fashionable. I want your future self to be your best self. And HeSpoke Fashion wants to help you fashion your future. Once again, that Cash App, if you want to help bless this young lady, $ HeSpoke Fashion Live. That's all I have for tonight. To all my fashionistas, my beautiful butterflies and fly guys, I wish you a good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. In the building. Yeah.
He spoke. fashion. I'm telling he is spoke